call the benevolent beings of light, archangels, and ascended masters to guide and inspire us during this forum. Our forum's vision is to bring the understanding, tools, discipline, and support for those seeking to enter the straight and narrow path, the road less traveled, that will lead us along effectively and steadily through the ascension process. Integration of the human experience with our divine origin is moving us full circle to achieve our divine potential. So be it. Amen.
Elder woman filled with knowledge, experience, and wisdom. Look at her. Meditating, understanding life from all the years that she's been on the planet. American Indian, they know the way of nature. So the knowledge she's picked up, the wisdom, is acquired through the experience. It's not so bad being an elder. You're just not as pretty as you used to be, but your heart is. Thank you. Remember that. Holistic well-being. I believe the major point that was trying to get through to us is that if you get hung up in 3D pleasures, it holds you back. It limits you. You're distracted between the drama, the politics, the getting involved in every situation that's around you. Empaths that we are. We feel deeply. We are troubled by other people's troubles. We feel them in our heart and soul. However, they wrote their script, and we must allow them to go through whatever it is that they're trying to learn from their situation. I felt very strongly that this particular video, although it's actually part 2 in my mind of last week, it's a continuation of understanding the divine feminine. However, because we're made up of 2 polarities, masculine and feminine, it is affecting men and women. The beauty that they showed was in the strength, the maturity that we start implementing in our life with our spirituality. It's so easy to just do what we always did, say what we always said, act like we always acted. But that is not working. It isn't. In many cases, we so need to change our ways, to stop getting involved in conversations we have no business being in, making decisions for others, trying to save the world. This is not a time for this. It never was, but especially now. Especially now. We have to mature into our spiritual path. We are seeking what? To become our divine potential. How do we get there? By consciously witnessing ourselves in others and listening to ourselves, listening to the thoughts running through our head. We may say the right thing, but what we're thinking in our head might be the opposite, but we just don't have the courage to say it. It's time for us to really look inside and start to figure out who we really are, where we really are. It's not about what other people say we are. They have filters. and they're looking at us through their filters. They're seeing a part of themselves. You see? So leading by example, very important. If we are smokers, let's say, and we have teenagers and we tell them not to smoke while we're sitting there puffing on our cigarette, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to smoke behind your back because mommy and daddy did it. You must set an example if you expect whoever it is that you're speaking to follow a path that you're suggesting. If you're not doing it, then how can you expect somebody else to do it? They'll say, what about you? It's not do as I say, not as I do. It doesn't work. Same thing with your speech. If you expect somebody to change their ways or to do something different, and yet we haven't yet taken care of that same issue in ourselves, you'll have no power in your words. It'll go in one ear and out the other. Nobody will hear you. You'll just be speaking as if the volume's off and nobody's going to respond. But when you've done the work in yourself on the same issue and you have cleansed yourself, I'm telling you, you will have power in your words. You will have authority to speak on these issues. You give that gift to yourself. You give it to yourself by doing the work within yourself. No blaming, no feeling guilty. None of that energy is worth a dime. What is worth everything, as if it's gold, and we are alchemists by doing this, we're changing a lower frequency vibrational energy inside you into a much higher divine energy. And that's the alchemy that they spoke about over the ages. You changing the frequency within your bodies. It's held in your cells, in your muscles, in your energy field. It's held in your mind. It's held everywhere. And it's up to us to consciously live so that we can have holistic well-being on every level. On every level. Living consciously is a very mature portion. You move into that by caring enough to change your life because it isn't satisfying you to the depths of your soul. 30 years ago, I was a wild stallion, and I let myself be that way. I liked being that way. And then I realized, you know what? It's time to grow up, Barbara. It's time. Now you have to watch what you say. It isn't in a joke because the universe is very literal. It doesn't know from jokes. Charlie said something today off the cuff, trying to be a smart aleck. And I turned to him and I said, that was really mean. And he goes, oh, you know, I'm only kidding. Well, the universe doesn't. The universe doesn't know that. And he said, oh, what am I going to do with you? Because he doesn't want to change his way. He wants to play. He wants to be silly. He was talking to this lady. It just comes back to bite you because somebody's going to say that about you. And then you say, oh, I'm so nice. I don't understand why somebody would say that to me. Ooh, guess what? It used to take 10 years for it to find its way back. Now it smacks you in about 15 minutes. Then you don't forget because you say, "Oh, I see. I get it. I get it. Yep, there I am, as cute as a button." Not really. So, holistic well-being is the practice of spirituality, having a divine communication with your higher self, allowing something you want to say to move through you, go into your heart, and then come out your mouth, not just do a knee-jerk reaction to things. It really backfires. And a lot of people are on the comedy route where they'll just throw something right back at you. And it isn't the highest way you can travel, not verbally, mentally, or emotionally. So, holistic well being is practicing the presence, witnessing yourself as you move through your day. You have an interaction with somebody, then later review it, look at it. Did I do what I would have liked to have done to me? Did I offer respect, dignity, kindness? Was I generous in whatever way? It isn't about money. Being generous is with your time, with your willingness to respond to people's needs and your own. Your own. Never forget you. As we practice really, really looking at ourselves, we're going to come to really say to ourselves, you know what? I don't like the way I do that. I don't like the way I act when nobody's around and it's just me and my husband. I don't like it. I don't like how I snap at him. I don't like the way I don't respect everything that he's trying to tell me, or when he's talking to you or anybody, a friend at work, whatever, and they're talking to you and you're busy on your phone and you're shaking your head yes as if you're listening. I see that every day when I go out, parents with their kids are just there. They're not interacting with them. They're on their phones. They're ignoring them. They're crying. They're this, that. I can feel the baby's hungry. The other kid hurt himself and nobody's listening but me. But me. Because I'm living consciously. I look out into the world and I see it with filters all cleared away. Once you get rid of those filters, you see it for what it really is. Do you go up to the parent and judge them? No. But you might say, your little boy hurt himself just now. You might want to turn around and take a look. And there he is crying, and they feel very bad because, right now they see that something's going on. Or the little kid crying because it's hungry, but mommy wants to go shopping and buy some clothes while the kid needed a meal. Always bring a bottle. You have to be living consciously. I see people out in the on a chilly evening. The parents have hoodies on and socks and shoes, long pants, and they had their kid in a t-shirt from the afternoon and didn't bother to bundle them up. And they wonder why they're coughing the next day and sneezing. We must be responsible for what we're responsible for. With our animals, people need to remember they need water just like we do. When you're out running with them for a half hour, you need to give them water. You need to be conscious of their needs. If their tongue is hanging down to their knees, I think you might get a hint that they need some water. Are you noticing what I'm noticing? This is my life witnessing how people are sleeping on the job. So how do we have holistic well-being with ourselves? We become conscious beings. We choose that path. We've slept on the job long enough. We need to make the changes that are going to bring the beauty and grace back into our life. No longer relating to the fact that the doctor said I'm sick. I do not feel I'm sick. Yes, I have conditions of my body, but I relate more with my divine self that cannot be sick, you see? And I do what I need to do for my physical body to keep it running. I need this body. I can't operate without it here. And I have too much to do like you do before I leave this plane. It is up to you and me to do what we need to do, not overdo it. Because when you get excessive in your behavior, you're outside of universal law, which Jesus taught us, moderation in everything. Moderation in everything, and you'll be healthy. No food is going to hurt you because it's in moderation that you're taking it in. You see? Moderation. If you don't like something, it's a signal it doesn't chemically work well with you. Respect and honor that. If people are not responding to you in the way that you would like to, so important for you to reflect back to yourself. It isn't them that's stupid or can't see me. They're not looking for you. They're looking for themselves. They're looking for themselves. And everybody is needing to look for themselves. You have to figure out what's right for you. You have to feel concerned for yourself. Honor and respect yourself and your needs. Don't look for somebody else to do it for you because it's not going to, you'll get the crumbs instead of the main dish, which is you honoring and loving yourself, changing when you see that a change is required. This is the spiritual journey. People say to me, but I thought it's like me praying and meditating. Yeah, good time to do that is every day. But you don't have to do it for 6 hours. Get out there and live life. You'll feel very peaceful when you're sitting in a meditation. Go out in the world and see how you respond or they respond to you. And you'll get a real hint of where you're at. You can sit in the silence at home and say, you know what? I am so healed. I feel so peaceful. And then you go out with people and they annoy the living life out of you. And that's when you have to take responsibility for that. They are showing you what is inside you. That's what you don't like. It isn't that you don't like them or their behavior. It's that that energy is pushing your buttons of exactly the same level energy. And once you get that, every day you can have a session with yourself and clean that up. They're your gift. But I counsel people and they say to me, I had such a bad day today. Nobody was nice to me. I said, wow, what a great opportunity for you. And they go, what? These are the newbies. And they go, what? I said, yeah, that was the best day of your week. No, it wasn't. When I was home and cooking and out in my garden and doing what I love to do, that is my best day. I said, it's a good day. And so is the day that you have to work. Well, you don't have to. But if you want to keep having the same situations occur in your life that you don't like, it's not going to change unless what? You can't change them. They've got a contract with you and they're going to keep working you. So if you want it to stop, then you need to get it out of you. I didn't believe this, to tell you the truth, years ago, but I proved it to myself. I proved it to myself. That's why I can speak about it, because I know it works and I know it's real. No matter what other people say to you, just witness it. Witness everything. See what resonates with you and what doesn't. Goes back to the gut feeling. Somebody will say something and it's all profound and oh my goodness. And, and then you say to yourself, I don't know. I just don't feel like that is really the deal. Follow your guidance. Perhaps it will be in another time. Perhaps it has nothing to do with you. Something came up on YouTube when I was looking for something. And this whole big talk about cosmic stuff and talking with such fervor and excitement. And I'm just sitting there going, this is a bunch of baloney. This guy's in La La Land. This has nothing to do with reality. But he decided to do a video on it. You have to learn to trust. Your gut is going to tell you. Everything you need to know is already yours. It's already yours. You just have to trust that when you get inspiration, that it's real for you. Even if it leads you into a situation you say to yourself, I don't know. I don't know if that was me saying it or what. Start to trust. And the more you trust, the more you will get divine inspiration. At first, when I did it, I was getting my brain telling me, and I knew because everything wasn't going the way I knew it would if it was coming from a more divine source. Okay? That divine source is your great I am. The comforter that Jesus said will be left with you to answer all your questions. That is your divine potential. Start to trust it. Follow it. Even if things don't go exactly the way you thought it would. Just keep trying. Keep working at it. This is having a personal relationship with God, because that is on that level of wisdom. You see? Your brain will take you to the past when you didn't know any better because it's trying to protect you. The ego's trying to protect you. Everybody talks about hating their ego. Don't hate it. While we were sleeping and walking around the world, it was actually operating so that we could get through a lot of the stuff that we couldn't witness as an awakened person. And that's why so many people are staying asleep. They can't go through this, what we're going through. We're the strongest of the strong. They aren't. And they're just trying to stay alive while all of this is going on in the world. The mass confusion, the evil, the lies. They're just trying to get through the day. So they're staying asleep and their ego is running the show. Once you awaken and you start maturing into your spirituality like you are, it's time for you to really go forward and take this to every level that you can go to. Don't go to psychics because they'll tell you what they see as potential. You want the real deal coming from you, from inside you, because your higher self will never lie to you and only guide you through step by step to find out the answers to those hard questions that you're asking somebody else. You will get the answers, but you've got to go through the path of all of the basic foundational material that you need within you to understand it, the experience, and then you develop the wisdom, and that wisdom is given to you. This way, you can operate on a very high level. I loved some of the things here, what they were saying. To really take responsibility for how we act with others or when we're not with them. Here we are, we're spending time with somebody and then yang about everything about them. This is what they do in high school. This is what they do when we're kids. We got to drop that. Soon as you feel like you want to gossip, say God bless. God bless them. God bless them right where they are. God bless them, because I was there. And if I'm annoyed, it's because I do it too. You see? If you're constructively speaking about someone in a way that trying to figure out how to help them, that's a whole different story. Yes, you're telling the truth about their behavior or whatever you're seeing. And then you're taking it to the next level of, what can I do to help them? Maybe I need to call them up and say, you want to have a little time together? We can hang out. You want to talk about something that's troubling you? That would be very constructive. About setting the example. If we don't do what we expect others to do or tell them to do, I'm telling you, it's a moment for you to be aware. Why am I telling this person this? Because I'm not even willing to do it. It's an awakening moment for me. I look at it and I go, oh my gosh, I really got to work on this myself, because this happened 2 times this week. So it's a sign to me that I have to improve on this particular matter. I'm sure all of you are aware of this. This is the holy moment in our life when we really need to make that extra effort. Not just be lazy. If we're lazy about our life, then we're going to get a real slow path. And everyone says, I'm so impatient. I want all my skills and my gifts and talents back. Yeah, well, we got to earn that. Because if we're careless with our energy, we're going to have miscreations. And the more light we brought in, the more powerful we are. We don't want to hurt anybody. And it's 8:00. So I will finish this discussion after segment 2 when I do my summary. Anybody listening to this on YouTube, I encourage you to join us. There's 2 more segments that you're not going to get to see or hear, and they are very, very interesting. So go to ourdivineorigin.com and send a little message, and we will get you on the invite list. It's free and it's wonderful. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you. Did you feel that in your heart? He was singing from his heart. He was loving the Lord. Sing to yourself. Feel that passion inside you. Make your life holy again. Make it holy again. It isn't about a person or a religion. The Lord of our being, the Lord of our being, your divine beings. Love the Lord of your being. Love God, the prime creator. But love. Thank you. Holistic well-being. Everything we discussed tonight had to do with that. We have to keep very clear. It isn't just our bodies that we're here to take care of. It is our souls, our growth, our learning, our experiences, gaining that wisdom that we came to gain. That is our treasure chest. And that is where your wealth needs to be, in your heavenly consciousness, the jewels that I talk about in your crown. These are the things you're gaining, the wisdom, and each piece of wisdom is a jewel for you. That's your eternal blessing that you give yourself. We can mess around in 3D all we wanted, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And we played and we got rich and we were leaders and we were this and we were that, living out all our games. But the major part of each of those games was the wisdom we gained from having the experience and building our knowledge base so that we could make it into an actual wisdom experience, earning the jewel in our crown. It takes courage. It takes tenacity. It takes focus. It takes a person to mature and be willing to make the changes that are required. And if the strongest of the strong, who would be you, does not comply to the demands of your higher self to do so, it will drag on lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. The great gifts and talents and wondrous abilities that we actually have will be delayed because we are not mature enough to handle energy with the wisdom that we are required. It's as simple as that. You want to come into yourself fully, your full potential, then it's up to us, the personality that you chose in this lifetime, to make it happen. Nobody's going to tell you what to do or when to do it. Your higher self will say, okay, we'll reincarnate again and again and again and again. Or you can finish up, because this lifetime is the opportunity we have been waiting for, to take our bodies with us, a crystalline body, and move out of hell, off the wheel of life, of birth and death, and become a divine being. And now, going to fifth isn't the end all. Believe me, it's the first step to the end all. And there's many, many steps after that, but it isn't like here. To me, this is hell, because you're dealing with those two polarities. You're in a matrix. Everything is throwing everything back at you, which is the only way to learn about yourself and to deal with it when you're mature enough to do that. So holistic well-being is coming into yourself and saying, you know what? It's time. It's time for me to get going and do something with my life and really make it my life, my divine life, the real potential that I have. I want it more than I want anything. There's nothing here holding me back anymore. I'm not attached to anything. And that's a good thing, because I can move on. I could walk away from my house and everything in it, and I'd be just fine if I had to. But I'm not ready to leave this journey. I want to take it right to the doorway of 5D and step through into 5D with dignity, not be crawling through it. Crawling through it means you still have baggage, just a little bit more, that doesn't vibrate with 5D. You can still go through the doorway, but it is going to have to be dealt with. I mean, there's no fooling around, because the energy level, the frequency you enter in 5 is not going to tolerate the denser energies. Okay? So when we talk about holistic well-being, it's a very important topic. Study what was on that video. It's a nice way of laying it all out for you. It doesn't matter if you're in a man's body or a feminine body. It doesn't matter. We have to deal with these two polarities. And by the teachings on this video, a male and a female body embodiment can find their way to our divine potential by following the lessons that were given. Okay? So with all my love and respect and honor of you, right where you are today, I encourage you to very consciously live your life joyfully, respectfully, and remember, it doesn't matter what other people say about you. What matters is what you're saying about you, how you have forgiven yourself for anything you've done, because it was part of the script. We learn from it, others may have learned from it, but mostly the whole point is us learning from it, you see? And they will learn when the time comes, or they did. And what a great gift you were. Even if it's not something that you're proud of, sometimes we needed to go there. And sometimes you just shake your head and say, I can't believe that I had this experience today. Well, you did for a very important reason. And God bless you that you did. Okay.
We are deeply grateful for this forum. We thank those in attendance for your attention, for your wonderful questions, future topic suggestions, and stories that touched our hearts and opened our minds to new possibilities. Our collective energy has filled this forum with light and love for each other. We are so grateful that each of us brings guides and angelic beings to the forum, raising the frequency ever higher. We are grateful for the assistance, inspiration, and guidance from the benevolent beings overseeing the forum. Know we are all deeply loved and richly blessed. Amen.